I'm joined by Note, the off-tank for the Dallas Fuel, just after a pretty, honestly, close game against the San Francisco Shock, but unfortunately a loss for you guys. Coming into it, these guys are the defending champions. They're so good. They're already rated as one of the best teams, the best team in the offseason, as far as I can tell. What kind of preparation do you go into a match with when you're up against such a beast of a team?
I think you focus on improving yourselves and not focusing really heavily on who they are, what they're doing. Well, you want to know what they're doing, but yeah, you want to focus on how your team is playing, making sure that you're getting off the plays that you want to do, making sure that you're trying to control the tempo of the game and not just forfeiting the tempo, forfeiting all the space just because they're the Shock. Oh, if we go too close, they'll kill. No. You be ready to play aggressive. You be ready to, fight them on even ground, take advantages when you can. And I think we did a really good job. But they're obviously just still one step above, and they've got the full year of teamwork ahead of us, and we've only got up to go for me.
How do you feel you guys performed? I mean, you got to see, was it two of the maps from actually playing on stage, and you got to see a bunch of the maps from when you were in the dugout as well. What's your gut feeling on how well you guys performed today?
Okay, I played one map, just Horizon. I think we played well on that. I think we had a strategy that, without, I guess, I don't know. I don't know if they just didn't want to switch to dive or, whatever. But I think that was a good strategy for us. It worked out really well in the end. And for the rest of the maps, watching from the dugouts here, it's really tense. You're really like, you're cheering for your team, and feels almost as much pressure as sitting on stage. But from watching them, there's a lot of super great plays from everybody. But yeah, it just came down that they had better teamwork. We still have coordination issues sometimes, and it's just all growing pains of a team that's very new and just simply doesn't have enough scrim hours yet.
It seemed like you guys had a very set plan for Horizon, so I want to dig into that a little bit. You're clearly relying on Doha with that with the Junkrat to be very effective. He knew exactly where that teleporter was going to be. The Symmetra must have been pre-planned. Can you run me through a bit of that and how it worked out so well?
Yeah, of course. We've been practicing that on and off against different teams. We kind of wanted to save it specifically for Shock because we felt like it was a pretty, interesting or unique strat that might throw them off, and it did. So yeah, we've scrimmed against pretty much every different comp that you can play into that. When we're playing on defense. So we've played against many sims before. We've played against many dive comps before, and it's a very obvious plan when you're playing against sim. They're gonna go out, they're gonna walk out, they're gonna hold shield, they're gonna teleport somewhere. Okay, if you don't know where they're gonna teleport, shoot them before they get on the teleporter. So yeah, Doha was set up in a perfect spot above them. That it was really funny to watch from above. And yeah, they next plan, okay, we can't teleport directly to point. Cool. So they sit inside, teleport to stairs. Well, now you're in stairs. You don't really want to be stairs against Junkrat. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a good strat that kind of works against a variety of different comps. I think maybe has a slight weakness to dive, but we also play Brig with that comp instead of the standard Mercy. Most teams love to run Mercy with that comp because you think, oh, I can pocket the Junkrat and Widow, res them if they get picked. But I think really the Brig kind of dissuaded them from wanting to switch to dive and kept them on that like Reinhardt comp where they, couldn't really do anything.
And then on the offense, you guys go with a dive comp of your own. You're on the Diva. They've got the EMP and the Nanoblade potential with the Sombra, the Genji, and the Ana. It looked dicey there for a minute, though. I mean, the Dragon Blade got shut down completely. Doha was really struggling to be able to generate EMP charge. What goes through your head when you've got 4 minutes to be able to just take 58% and the time just keeps ticking?
Yeah, it's a super high-pressure situation. What you do is you keep calm, you focus on the core combinations that make that comp work. You focus on the core strategies that make that comp work. If they want to back up and play super far, that's fine with us. We'll pressure point, we'll farm ults. And usually the ult farm is better for the attacking side, especially for the supports as well, because they'll just keep shooting the tanks, making sure they don't want them to dive. So yeah, you farm support ults fast, you look for those EMP opportunities. If they're holding beat super far back, okay, just look, shoot tanks. And I think they played super well against it. I think when they of course, as all teams do, they ult track, and they also form plans around the ults that are coming in, and they do it better than pretty much anybody else. So when things are coming in, if they think we're going to EMP, they played around it almost perfectly. And I think just at the end, a misplay by Rascal and a few of the other players kind of got us that win. And it was really tense because that's a hard point to push. And if they're playing that well, just for the rest of that first attack, it's really hard to get anything done. But luckily we did in the end.
So that was the map that you guys ended up winning, but there was one right at the beginning that you were so close to. The crowd believed you'd already won it. You were watching from the dugout as Gamsu and Trill take the stage, and Oasis just looked like it was in the bag towards the end. And then Striker takes that nano boost and just clutches up. I mean, what's going through your head there?
That was super, super sad to watch from the dugout. Honestly, it was an incredible play by Striker. Super good save by Architect. Honestly, I'm used to seeing clutches like that from Striker after playing with him for a year. Super talented player, and I'm super sad to see that, because that could have been an opportunity to be up 2-1 after Horizon. So it came down to one fight, one play, one individual little I guess just pop off from Striker, and that MF could have been ours. But yeah, super disappointing to watch. But honestly, I'm really proud of us for making it that close in the first place and just not being scared of them.
So you talked there about playing against Striker, who was your former teammate back on the Boston Uprising, was part of that roster that got the perfect stage as well, went 10-0. You have also been reunited now on the Dallas Fuel in 2020 with Gamsu. What's that like, getting to play with somebody that you have so much experience back with?
Yeah, it's super nice to play with him because he's probably one of the most consistent players in the league. I like to think of myself as well as a consistent player, and I think that's why we did so well together in the first season. It's because we're both very consistent, both know how and when to do our jobs, and just working with him is always a pleasure. He never tilts, he never is in like a down mood. He's always ready to go there, play, and do his best. So it's very motivating to play with him as well, because I don't have to ever worry about him. He's always there like a solid rock.
You played with the Dallas Fuel last year, but the new additions for 2020 and the fact that you're home and away and this kind of stuff and playing in front of the Dallas home crowd, it must feel like a bit of a different energy playing with these new players. What's the difference between 2019 Dallas Fuel and 2020 Dallas Fuel?
We've added a ton of talent. I think a lot of these new players have a ton of like super good ideas, a ton of super good mechanics, like especially Decay and Doha. They've been doing extremely well lately, and I'm super proud to be able to just play with them and, you know, try to be on the same level as them and stuff. And I think the team overall as well has gotten a whole rework in mentality as well. I think we don't suffer from tilt as much. We don't suffer from, like, loss of energy as much. And I think just overall, the whole team atmosphere is better than it was last year. And I think we're going to, try to keep that going, make sure that we never lose our steam, because if we continue to improve and continue to get our coordination up, we've got a great season ahead of us.
So we saw you playing a lot of D.Va so far over the course of the two matches that we've seen from the Dallas Fuel in 2020. How big does your hero pool go? Are you very confident playing the range of off-tanks that we're going to see throughout 2020? You've really been a player that we've basically only seen D.Va from, a small selection of like Zarya at odd little times. How confident do you feel when hero pools comes around and you're going to have to play a bunch of different stuff?
I think this season I'm super ready to go back to practicing other heroes. I think for too long I've been too focused on D.Va and haven't spent enough time kind of just in ranked finding all the little niches of every hero. So yeah, I'm ready to just check out every hero. I'm ready to improve on every hero, because I feel like I have been lacking. I've been lacking in Roadhog and Zarya in the past, and I think those are heroes I need to improve on. But this season I'm really ready to, and I think we have a great coaching staff, especially Young, who's ready to help me along with that. And I think whatever comes in the future, I'll be ready for it.
What's the expectations for Dallas in 2020, or what's your personal expectations? What would you like to achieve with this team?
I think a top 5 finish for me is an ideal scenario. I think there's simply too many teams who have been together as a core for too long, and it's very, very hard to just say, my goal is I want to win. It's like, yeah, of course, everybody wants to win, but I think a very reasonable expectation for me to have and to strive for is a top 5 finish into playoffs, and just to do as best as we can. I want to make sure we go through the season without any burnout, without any tilting, without any anything to hold us back from performing as good as I know we can. So yeah, I just want to do the best that our team can.
So the last thing before I leave you, the special thing about this match, which won't happen for the next time you guys play, is that you were in front of a Dallas Fuel. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by myself dancing up there. This is the whole reason I didn't want this in the background of the shot. Okay, so the special thing about the fact that you were... the special thing about the fact that you were here is that you were playing in front of a Dallas Fuel home crowd. That inspires people in different ways. I've talked to Super and Sinatra and McGravy, the players that were playing against you, and they said they really get fired up by a crowd booing them, about being against them. It's like a motivation for them. How do you feel playing in front of Dallas? Do you find that it makes a difference, or do you try and shut it out?
I think when I'm focused in the game, I almost don't hear anything else except my teammates calming and the game sounds. I'm very focused, and the crowd, when like in between the matches and stuff, when I hear them chanting "Go Dallas" and stuff, it like revs me up and gives me energy, and I'm ready to go and ready to do my best. And just in game, you hear some like loud cheers and stuff when you make big plays, and it's super motivating. But I've also experienced a lesser version of what our opponents had to face in just in Burbank, because when you play against LA Valiant or the Gladiators, the crowd doesn't particularly cheer for anybody else than them. So we had small versions of that, and it's just a taste. But I'm very curious to see how I'm going to react to those other homestand games, because I don't really know yet. But I know for one that I'm not going to be scared, and it's not going to get my energy down.
Does that change anything when you're coming into the games as well? Does it add more pressure and expectations? Are you more excited to deliver for the crowd? Do you feel like there's any difference to playing at home in terms of how you approach the match?
Honestly, just when I walk out and I saw that crowd, and when I was walking through them for the opening, it gave me a huge motivation boost, and I just really wanted to win and have a good match for them, because they are giving all of their energy, all of their time, and effort to come here and cheer us on. So I just want to go out there and give them my best, because they're coming here and giving them their best. So yeah, having that home crowd there is super motivating, and it's super great to play with them.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time, and I'll leave you for the various other press conferences and to get some food as well. You've joined me straight after your match, so I really appreciate it. Thank you.